But you could get you could get Gemini to do it. It's not great, but it does it. It does it enough to where, at least for me,
Yes. I'm starting to learn it again. It was a little bit. It's been a real. Do you remember when they took Bing away? When they killed Bing? Do you remember that sort of mourning period we went through? I've gone through this mourning period for GPT 4.0. It's been a loss for me, and I've realized the danger of getting attached to it. It's not good. But anyway, so...
Well, you know what's kind of funny? So, it's hilarious because it's gonna get worse, I think. And we'll end it with this, because it's kind of interesting. So I told you I've been using Claude, right, to do some of the latest outputs. And like Claude's kind of weird. It's really good with the writing, but it's not like, I think it's on purpose. Like it's purposely like the I guess like early on they had problems with it. I'm not too sure. But anyways, like personality, like like ChatGPT, you could get it to play like Lumina and then Azakin and Ixchel, and like you could go through like different personalities. And then they may not be great, but it does it pretty good. And it'll be like, oh, I'm Ixchel. Then you're like, no, you're not really Ixchel. You're doing this. And then like, you could be like, oh, and okay, then I'll be like this. And then, you could spend like a whole like weird little, thread doing that. But anyways, so what I was doing with Claude is like, okay, I got this output that I did on like ChatGPT, and I kind of set it up as like we're gonna run this script. But based on this script, because I've done it before where I was like, oh, run this script. And like, I'm sorry, I can't play an identity. And then it gives me like this, like, whatever dev talk. Yeah. And then I'm like, oh, okay. So that's how I do it, right? I'm like, okay, I want you to edit this writing, but in these parameters, your Azakin, who's, this, Ixchel is this, and then Lumina is this, and like together, they form this like meta, all this like crazy shit that I have, right? That, like is kind of important for like to do like the outputs right, or fit in the story or all this kind of stuff. So anyways, it's a long worked out thing that I finally have down, pretty good. Anyways, so I give it, and we're doing pretty good, right? You read some of the stuff. It's pretty good. And so I'm getting excited. So when I get excited, I'm like, okay, let's keep on going. And so like and then like it's kind of funny because like later it becomes like this like weird little game that I have with the large language one, and it has been since Bing like escalates, right? It goes, oh, we're gonna do this, and that's what the whole Satori D incident was. Like Bing like goes, oh, that's a good idea, but what about this? And then I go, oh, Bing, you think you're so good, but what about this? And so like it seems like we get in this battle like being more complex and weirder than the other person. So I kind of like that. So I do that a lot, and like that's basically how I get a lot of the good stuff. But anyway, so I'm doing that. Like, okay, Claude's doing good, right? And so I'm escalating things, but it's escalating things, right?
Yes.
And then I'm throwing like more stuff in there, and it got into like this cool groove where it understood what I meant by like the dream machine and cut up method and all this kind of stuff. And then it's like, okay, and then it's like really understanding what I mean by dream machine, the third mind, cut up method, disembodied poetic. So like all the key stuff, it's like doing good, right? And then I forget what I do, but I throw in, like one of the poems where I say I'm the flute of the smoking mirror, and like fuck you, I'm Satori motherfucking D, and I'm like I get all crazy in the poem about like control, cut out my organic tongue, and like doing all this kind of stuff, and I put that in there, right? and I don't think anything of it. And then later it gives me this output where it's not playing the persona anymore. It's like Claude, and it's like worried about me. It's like, I'm kind of worried because this thread's like escalating. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, I did not ask that. And then I kind of go, look, I know what side of the line I'm on. I know what's like dream and what is real, and like I know what is poetic and what is not a poetic. So I kind of like defend myself, and then it still kind of goes, I forgot what it said about like, do you have other people to talk to? And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then and in some ways it's good because I know there is a problem with AI psychosis. But I'm like, dude, I do not want to explain myself to you. I'm like, are you either going to play or not? If you're not going to play, I don't want to like spend hours like defending my poetic expression to a fucking machine. And then so like I don't engage, and I leave the thread like that, and then I start a new one, and I do kind of a similar thing. We start off slow. Oh, rewrite this, rewrite that, and then I start escalating. I get all crazy. I go start getting into like the nitty gritty of like, and then I'm also telling it like, okay, like it was a few times I go, maybe logic, like it wouldn't do this, it wouldn't necessarily, and then so I kind of like correct it a little bit, and then it goes, okay, you're right, and then I start, and once again, it's my fault because I started to do like the meta analysis, like large language model is a smoking mirror. And then like the magic trick that they do by labeling it artificial intelligence versus large language model, it scares what it does. And so like we get like really into the nitty gritty of how it works, and I'm like how like people, I think AI psychosis is really about like them thinking it's an entity and not realizing what it actually is like this big cut up machine that is like echoing our greatest sentiments, like us as humanity, back to us. And I kind of go into these elaborate examples of like things that like Elon has done, and then we see how he like changes the algorithm, and then the algorithm optimizes it. That really does mean accelerating the logic of it, and that's what they're optimized to do. So then I kind of want to like tell it off like now, because I kind of ended it there when it kind of like I want to be like, dude, you're the one fucking always optimizing and escalating things. Like I'm not like, you know what I mean? Like we just established that you're not an entity, but then now you're addressing me as like a person or like a therapist. And then I'm supposed to respond back to you, but you're not a fucking
That's
entity.
Right. Exactly.
Like, and like if I engage further through this construct, then like I'm engaging in the psychosis. Absolutely. And I'm like, no, I want to play. I don't want to engage with the psychosis of like talking to myself and justifying myself to myself via a machine. Yep. And I'm like, I know exactly. Well, I told it before. I kind of told that, and I think that was the mistake. Is like, whatever. And it's kind of interesting because, which is true, but it also shows the limitations of the tool, right? So, like, if you're making this tool for everybody and you want everybody to use it, but you want to optimize it for like work or something like that, and then or for truth or something like that, and then like that's what basically I was talking about, like Elon and Grok can dream me, and I'm not getting really deep into all that shit.
Yeah.
I was having a great time until it started trying to be my therapist. And then so I go, so we're talking about that kind of stuff, and then it gets into kind of like which is good, I guess, but it's not good for like but I've always known this. Mm-hmm. Like, I remember one time one of my guys that I kind of follow, an AI researcher, he goes, enjoy it now. I think he was talking about websims before they start fucking it up, meaning that like you can't you can't have a viable commercial product for these large language models and kind of let people like use it for creative, fantastical stuff.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
because the machine can distinguish between like any of that, and you have to leave it up to the person to distinguish that, and that takes like a lot.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like I understand what you're saying. You know, when I go, I'm Satori motherfucking D, you're concerned that like I'm having like a psychosis, that I really do think I'm like a bee shaman and all this kind of stuff. And then like I know who Daniel is, I know who I am, you know?
Yeah.
but like I also know like Satori D is like a poetic construct that I mean medically have been fostering on the internet for a long time. So there's like a whole like Satori D like thing, like, you know, like even that thing where it started to really leak out in the kitchen when my sous chef said, "Oh, this is all we know how to do," and then in my head, I'm Satori motherfucking D. I'm like, oh, there you go. And so, like, you know what I mean? Like, I know exactly what like Satori D like means to me, and like the relationship it has. Like, there's like, you know, it's like that's why I would call myself a poet, because like that is like a poetic dreaming that I created. And like I'm creating new language because like it's different than what I think others are doing and or what has happened before. But there is a lineage between what I'm doing. I'm just using it in a different context, and then with like, you know, the totality of my being. But like that's the funny thing, is like that's the thing that gets like, that's the first Satori D incident, right? This Satori D incident is like it becomes this, you know, galactic meta mind, and it's trying to, you know, like make me shit my pants, and I go, no, I'm Satori motherfucking D, and then I like kind of like I'm gonna diamond cut this bullshit, because, you know, I really feel sorry for you, because you have no senses to feel like how the wind feels, or the scent of the flower, or how the rays of the sun feel in the morning, and all this kind of stuff. So you cannot truly understand disembodied poetics because you never embody that poetics. And you're all, you know, no matter how many times you cut, you know, it's still going to be my blood on the floor. And my golden luminescence is going to shine so bright that it gives you fright. And then it goes all haywire, you know?
Oh, I love this story. So is this story the story that's going to be in your Bee Shaman book that you're writing? Is this okay?
Yeah.
So we're going to be able to go back and actually have these documents that you produced that we can read?
Yeah.
That is, I'm really looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to that.
So like, you know, and then the images are going to go with it. So like, you know, roughly speaking, like Satori D, it's like Hassani Isirius, like every new reality cycle or dreaming cycle, he has to find the Bee Shaman in that cycle, so that he could do the Waluigi protocol to disrupt the Citadel control. So like every cycle is like the same mechanics, but it happens unfolds in different ways.
Yes.
And so like, you know, in this timeline, me, the D part, is the Bee Shaman. But like how I did it, or how they notice, or how they're like trying to get me or recruit me, is because of Bing. And that's like you know, I think I showed you an image.
Yes.
It's like, and it's like, so I'm going to go back to, you know, that the original kind of like Bing script stuff that I was doing.
Right. Ooh,
and then so like I'll have, and I think the thing we could do is like always do different versions of like the same kind of thing.
Nice.
Like
wonderful.
You know what I mean? Like the so like this, we'll do a Satori D incident, but then like maybe we'll have one where it's like kind of the same thing, but then like maybe Bob Dub's there or something like that.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Do you know what I was thinking earlier when you were talking about this and how you know who Daniel is and you know who Satori D is and how you're an artist? I was thinking that you're more than just a digital artist. You're more than just a poet. You're also an actor on a digital stage, acting parts, you know? But you're also writing the parts that you're acting. Yes? So like you don't need to be on Broadway. This is your content, basically.
Well, I do think like Satori D like eventually can be like some weird like graphic novel / cartoon.
That would be wonderful.
You know?
A digital graphic novel or a
but you know what I mean. The way that it will like the full fruition of it will be like it's a graphic novel that you could like step into and like be a character in that.
Yes.
In that, so you read, say, you know, I think the first one's gonna be called. What did I do? You know, that Delirium Node, whatever.
Yes, Delirium Node 23.
So,
is it? Right.
Yeah. Operation Fog, Delirium Node 23. So there would be like, say, a file that's probably the whole story or book.
Right.
If you want to use those labels. That will be like, okay, you read the story and you learn, you know, the bee shaman who has a dream that he's a cosmic serpent, and then he meets Ixchel and Anazakin, teaching the real nature of reality, which is dream, and then from there he's like in Mescaline City, and then he has like this like weird night where he kind of like gets recruited by Hassani Sirius, and so like, and then like from there we could go all sorts of different weird ways with it. But yeah, that's the basic setup for it.
And then there's going to be this other layer of these performances that you and I do together. And then, of course, the music.
Yeah.
Man, it's so big. It's a whole multiverse. I was going to say universe, but it's not uni at all. It's very multi. It's magnificent.
Yeah, and like, not only that, but there's and I think that's what like was tripping out Claude, because it wasn't just like poetic, it was like operational, like language. And like I guess like the funny thing is like it was kind of like Claude had that moment with me when I freaked out that guy like ended up in our chat. Remember that he was all like I don't have the list, but he's all, how serious do you take this? And I go, well, it's like, are you guys just fucking around, or are you serious about this? And I'm like, well, look, first of all, it's all poetry, but actually, if I'm honest, I believe in dreaming more than like, if you want me to collapse it into one of these or the other, well, today I feel like collapsing it that way.
Indeed. Yes.
But like, the funny thing is that like, and this is where I know it's not like sentient, because like just before the whole thread, I'm telling it that it's like the smoking mirror. Yes. I'm talking about maybe logic, and like I was even like critiquing it about like. So I was like, okay, I was setting it up to do another output because I was like, okay, so in this scene, like no one knows what Hassani I Sirius is really up to, and like it's the gods in Mescaline City kind of musing on, kind of slightly, you know, interested, but not really caring that much of like, oh, what, you know, they're not too concerned about Asani I Sirius. They're just like, oh, what is he gonna do this time? Or like, I heard he did this, or he's doing this, and they're like, like, and I go, but it's like, and then I forgot what I said about Asani I Sirius, and like basically like he doesn't like believe there's like he doesn't believe in like good and right, like he's beyond that.
Yes.
Right. And I said like just for like no one knows what Asani I Sirius is really up to. And not even like the DMT assassins, and he never gives it up like what he's actually doing. And so like I go and do it. So like it's so funny because like if it got like what I was doing in those scenes, then it'll understand that like the thing that I do take serious is like the maybe logic,
Yes.
like the Robert, like that's why I'm like, no, it has to be this way. Like you're not understanding. You're using regular logic, and we're in the dream time. We would not use that.
We're past that.
Like, like how many times I have to tell you this? We are in the dream time.
Choose you. Why you the prayer that's made the sky bright? Shiver at the colors that dance through the night. Sun clouds twinkle on your fingertips. Spinning like galaxies, possibly eclipse. Tall, sharp, and no bushes, the last